Hello and welcome to Back to the Feature with Evan and Gabby. Double features, double takes. This is the podcast where we talk about two movies, one new, one older, what makes them a good pair, and how the history of films influences the present.
I'm Evan.
And I'm Gabby. And today, we are discussing Bugonia and
They Live.
Two films about men crashing out when they realize they have no agency in society because of aliens.
I wrote that and I wasn't sure if you were going to pull that out of the script and punch it up.
No, I think it was really, I read it and I was like, no, this is really astute. Actually, this is very accurate to both of these films.
I have a feeling, sometimes I use the phrase crashing out and some people don't know what that means.
No, they don't know what it means.
Yeah, which is really interesting. So that's why I was like on the fence. I was like, do we say crashing out? But I think, yeah, to your point, I did feel it was quite astute.
I said crashing out to my mom the other day on the phone. She was like, she crashed into what? Never mind. But no, very astute. The aliens have been among us apparently since at least 1988 because John Carpenter, he knew. Mm-hmm. He knows. He'd been knowing.
Yeah. I'm really surprised at how kind of prescient the They Live is. We'll get into some of those kind of like maybe more modern details or like modern reflections when we get to the movie. But boy, what a fun pairing between these two.
Yeah, a lot of overlap and also just the evolution of the aliens among us genre is very interesting to track between these two.
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, before we get into those movies, let's talk about some movie news that we wanted to highlight over the past week. First of all, it's been announced that Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, will be coming to theaters. This is Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 cut together into one 4-hour film with an intermission. It's 281 minutes. And yeah, this has been screening in some theaters around Los Angeles for a while, but it looks like on December 5th, this is going to go nationwide in major markets in North America. So, probably theaters in Canada and Mexico, perhaps even as well. There will be some specialty screenings in 35 millimeter and 70 millimeter, according to Variety. As someone who has been slowly filling in some Quentin Tarantino blind spots, I think this is the last major one.
Really? So you haven't seen either Kill Bill, Volume 1 or 2?
One of my college roommates was showing me Volume 1, but we started too late at night, which is a perfect recipe for me to fall asleep. Yeah. No matter, I was telling Gabby and I saw a movie together recently, and I was explaining that I very easily can fall asleep anywhere if it's a dark room. Doesn't matter how loud it is, has no reflection to do with the movie content itself. My brain, sometimes when the lights are dim, it's very easy to fall asleep. So I'm excited. I really want to check this out. I had missed those screenings in LA, so I'm excited for this to come back to theaters again. I'm eagerly setting some calendar events to make sure I check for tickets around that time.
Well, I'm excited for you to see it. I've seen both several times, but not all together. I'm not sure if this entices me to sit through a 4-hour movie. I think my limit is Killers of the Flower Moon. Like that 3-hour, 40-minute was just about my limit in a theater where I was like, okay, it's time to go. But how familiar are you with the Quentin Tarantino only making 10 movies lore?
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with it.
Got it. So for anyone who isn't, Quentin Tarantino is determined to only make 10 films throughout his career. For those not keeping track at home, he is currently on 9. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was his 9th feature film, but that is counting Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 as 2 separate movies. Do you think he's trying to backtrack and make this into one movie? Because he has made comments before that he considers Kill Bill to be one, like volumes 1 and 2 to be one text.
Oh, interesting.
Do you think he's backtracking?
To give himself more movies to make?
Yeah.
Wow. That's really interesting. I'm not 100% sure about that. I just feel like if you're gonna, I don't think you, for so long, you've been running with this theory that I don't think that now in 2025 you're like, actually, I'm going to give myself one more by combining the two, because they've already been released as 2 separate films,
Maybe. I mean, I feel like he's talked about the 10 movie thing so much now that he literally can't not do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would. I think he's pretty firm on it, but I don't know. Some part of me thinks he's a little bit, this is just my personal theory, is that so many people loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it was such a beautiful like love letter to Los Angeles and like the time that was in Los Angeles and what it has become now, and to Hollywood, movie stars, movie making. I think a lot of people remarked that maybe that should have been number 10.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think that should have been number 10 if he had it in him. But now I feel like he's psyching himself out over what number 10 should be, because he had a movie in development as early as this year and he pulled it. He pulled the whole thing. And I'm like, is he psyching himself out because it's number 10?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, I think that movie was ready to go. I even think my friend was like crude on it. I don't know if I'm like technically
no, it was
allowed to say
fully
that,
ready to go. It was ready to go. Tom Cruise was going to be in it. Brad Pitt was going to be in it.
Yeah,
it was going to be a big deal. It was called The Movie Critic, and now it's just like, no. I think he psyched himself out.
I wonder if part of it of doing this release too, and also the Cliff Booth sequels on Netflix, which he's not fully involved in, right? But I believe he wrote the script.
It.
Yeah. So I think part of it might be just like allowing himself to have time to look at his older works and see what he still loves and what interests him, and how he got to where he is today, and what that final piece of filmmaking will look like, for him.
How the history of films influence the present.
Oh, that's a really interesting take. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if anyone embodies that little intro that we give, unfortunately, it's Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Let's get him on the podcast.
Yeah, let's call him up. But I don't know. I'm interested to see what this does in theaters, if it does anything. If there's like a big outpour of like fans, if it gets new fans. I'm curious about it.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm not sure if I'll go, but
that's fair. I think the intermission pretty much sells it for me to go for sure. It's just because I wouldn't have been able to sit for that long, I think, because like you said, Killers of the Flower Moon was quite intense, and that and Irishman.
Huge fan of intermissions in movies, by the way. The Brutalist had intermission last year. Loved it.
Great. I got a coffee in the middle. It was awesome.
Absolutely. I went to the bathroom. I got a snack, came back, locked in. More movies do intermission, even if you're only an hour and a half. Do it.
Well, something that might impact the future of more movies being made is NBC Universal has announced that they're looking to buy Warner Brothers. They have allegedly hired like analysts to start looking into this a little bit more closely. We don't have a ton more news to report on that, but I think it's our podcast is very interestingly positioned as like basically following this week to week. Like it feels like we started and we've been talking about this. So NBC buying Warner Brothers it's very similar to Disney buying Fox, right? It's like pretty much that kind of type of corporate merger. There's not much more that we haven't said already, right? It just seems like kind of a huge woof overall.
It's gonna be bad if it happens at all. Anyone buys Warner Brothers, it's gonna be bad. But
yeah, I think.
But also, I read this, and like, I am not an expert. I am not an analyst. I am not a finance girl. But can NBC Universal afford this?
Yeah,
I'm serious.
Well, it's a Comcast company, right?
Can Comcast afford this? Like, I'm serious. Like, I feel like they've been like slowly like kind of not doing well with their streamers, like their platforms and stuff. They're not making profits on that. Is NBC Universal making a ton of profits right now off of anything more than the theme parks? I'm really serious, because I don't think they've had really big. What was their last big release in theaters? Jurassic World? It didn't do that well. Like, where's the money coming from?
That's a great point. I mean, like that, and that's exactly why they would want to position themselves to buy this, right? Is like they would acquire a huge library both in film and TV in order to
that's very strategic. But I'm like, is David Zaslav going to settle for that number? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess the real question though at the end of the day is if NBC buys Warner Brothers, what will HBO Max be called now? Would be Peacock Max?
HBO
HBO
Universal Max. I got it. HBO Go Cock Max.
There we go. That's it.
I did
HBO
it.
Go Cock Max. That's straight out of Succession for you right there.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And it's all one word.
It's all one word. Yeah.
All lowercase, of course, like just for the aesthetic.
Yeah. The hashtag would be
of course, the peacock needs to come over it still. Like the rainbow. I don't want to lose that graphic.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first, folks. That's what it's going to be called. And the social media teams will have a heyday.
It's going to cost $89 a month. Which, if you're wondering if that's the same as cable, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Oh, God. All right. Well, Gabby, tell me about this Timothée Chalamet interview that dropped this week.
Okay. I need the people to know that I put this in the outline because Evan was unaware of it. And I feel like this interview really ruffled some feathers this week. At least in my feed. Don't know what your algorithm is feeding you, Evan, but mine is Timothée Chalamet in Vogue doing a long form interview to promote Marty Supreme, which comes out next month. Very exciting. And he made some interesting observations, I will say, but most relevant, I think, to us is that when asked if he would do television, he just said no. Like, no elaboration. He was like, no, not interested. And it reminded me of, like kind of the Leonardo DiCaprio mold, like where he is one of him and I guess Tom Cruise are like some of the last holdouts that have not done a single television program in this prestige TV era. So it made me wonder, like, I mean, people have been saying this for the past few years since Timothée Chalamet rose to prominence and started taking leading roles. But is he the last movie star?
Yeah, I mean,
like, is he the last, like, true, like, this guy is, like, committed to theatrical, like, he's gonna promote the fuck out of every theatrical movie he's in, you know? Is it him?
I mean, yeah, of this generation for sure. I mean, I think we'll have to see. New people will likely get inspired by this, especially if he continues to be as successful as he is. But yeah, I mean, it's a great point that like other people aren't quite doing this in the same way.
So, would you say that this does make him, in fact, the Lisan Agaib?
Yeah, of
the movie world.
This is exactly what the Lisan Agaib would do.
It is.
Yeah.
And he would be humble about it.
And
Muad'Dib.
Why does it have 3 names for it? I still don't understand.
I don't know. I haven't read the books. I'm not going to read the books. I enjoy the film.
Yeah, I enjoy.
I'm excited I'm excited for Dune Messiah, but I don't think that's what they're calling it anymore.
Oh yeah,
I think I read that they changed the name of it, but the third book or the second book, I guess, is called Dune Messiah.
Right? Is it just Dune, but the E is a 3?
I hope so. I hope that was the change. If not, they slept. They slept on that opportunity. That would have been great marketing. And, of course, we need to talk about a new movie that's in the works. This news shocked me to my core.
Yeah, well, in promoting Die My Love, Jennifer Lawrence, star of Die My Love, was on the Las Culturistas podcast and announced that her and Emma Stone are producing a Miss Piggy movie with Cole Escola writing the script for it. This sounds pretty awesome, just from broad terms.
Listen, this has been a real tough year in the entertainment business. this headline like brought me back to life. I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
The comedy is alive, cinema is alive. Like we just need like 2 massive megawatt stars to produce a Miss Piggy movie with like a Tony Award winning writer at the helm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what we need.
I'm sure this is bound to be fun. I hope this isn't one of those things that just like kind of dies on the vine, you know? Like I really hope they push forward with this.
It better not. It better not. My well-being may be depending on this movie. But also I read someplace, I don't remember the source, but that it is about Miss Piggy getting canceled.
Oh, that's fun.
And I want it. I want it right now. How do we fast track it?
Bob Iger, we got your next hit on the phone. Take the phone.
I mean, let's go. Get Jennifer Coolidge to voice Miss Piggy. It's all set.
Yeah.
It's all set to go.
Yeah. Wow. So we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on that one. Hopefully this is something that comes out, end of next year? Middle 2027? Yeah.
Is this Barbie in 2027 is the Miss Piggy movie?
Oh my God. Make it happen.
I feel like it could be. I feel like that's going to be like the big, like, oh, is this female driven IP going to break $1 billion, even $500 million at the box office? What will we do? That's going to be every headline in 2027.
Yeah. This movie was not successful because it cost $75 million to make and made $60 million in 2 weeks.
Disney crashed and burned over this.
Emma Stone's company no longer producing.
Woof. I hope that's not the case. They're doing interesting things.
Well, speaking of interesting things, let's talk about some trailers and some potential trailer news. There's a lot of rumors / tentative confirmations that the first Avengers Doomsday trailer will be airing in front of Avatar Fire and Ash this December. This was reported by Collider, citing multiple sources confirmed this for them. I mean, after Fantastic Four, there've been some TV shows from Marvel, but it's been kind of quiet for them. So I'm really curious what the whole deal with this is going to be. I believe this past weekend, that was the original release date for this movie. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's possible that we get in front of Avatar Fire and Ash the first Doomsday trailer, the Supergirl trailer, and the Odyssey trailer?
Oh my God. That makes going to Fire and Ash worth it on its own.
Worth it.
Right?
Worth it immediately.
The first trailers for all 3 of those things, I mean...
That would be insane.
James Cameron is going to the Russo brothers. He's going to James Gunn. He's going to Christopher Nolan. He's saying, please put your trailers in front of my movie because I'm not sure who's coming out for this one.
It hasn't been long enough for us to forget about Way of Water. It just hasn't, Big Jim.
It hasn't.
We'll see. I'm at least going to be seated for Avatar Fire and Ash, if not for this podcast, but also just for those trailers. I'm excited.
Yeah,
and I mean, also playing in that trailer package will more than likely be the trailer that came out this week for the upcoming musical biopic of Michael Jackson called Michael, which features Michael Jackson's nephew playing Michael.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And Miles Teller playing his lawyer, I believe, and he looks insane in a wig that truly looks ridiculous. Are we just doomed to a life of musical biopic after musical biopic? Will there be a lesson learned from like Deliver Me From Nowhere and the Whitney Houston one that came out a couple years ago that nobody saw?
God, that's
like
right.
There's like for every Bohemian Rhapsody and every what was the Bob Dylan one? A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
All of those, there are like 3 flops of music biopics, and I'm like, they're not a Bohemian thing.
Bohemian Rhapsody is not a flop for you?
Oh, it is a flop for me. I hate that movie with a burning passion.
Yeah,
but it was incredibly successful. It made a ton of money.
Sure. Yeah, it did,
and it won a ton of Academy Awards that it absolutely did not deserve. But,
yeah,
I just think
that
you
gotta
like
cool it, right?
I just think that a lot of people like keep saying that musical biopics are so popular because they're like a sure thing money wise. And I'm sorry, I don't see the proof.
Yeah.
Like A Complete Unknown did really well for that kind of movie. Did it make $1 billion? No. And like how many more of these do we have to get?
You know what? I think the Bob Marley one did pretty well financially too. One Love. I think it did. I
forgot about that one. One Love, One
Better
Life,
Man.
One Destiny.
Oh right! Oh, the trailer line.
I saw that trailer so many times. I wanted to end
because they
my
pushed
life.
it back. That's why we got the extended.
I wanted to walk out every time. It was so bad.
Yeah. Anyways, I think you're right. I mean, I think people just like feel like that this is like ripe IP in a sense because there's so many writers. Like lots of these biopics are based off books, right? Like even The Social Network is based off a book allegedly, right?
And this is just how like a great band, as we all know.
Well, okay. I'm just saying like there's a way to like option the you know this better than I do, but like people are optioning rights to books, which means that they can make a movie based off this thing. And the only reason that a singer wouldn't potentially like sue about this is because it would maybe be like they would feel like it would be committing libel. You know, the thing was whatever.
It's usually made with the permission of the artist or the permission of the artist's estate if they're deceased.
Right.
Like, you know, Bob Dylan had to give his permission for them to make A Complete Unknown, even though he was not like involved in it. You know, he was not promoting it. He was not really involved, but he still had to give permission. That's his life rights. But I'm kind of tired of this trend, and I think that what's either going to kill it or prove that it's here forever is that series of 4 movies that they're making about each Beatle.
Oh, the Beatles. Yeah, the BCU.
The BCU, yeah. Thank you so much for reminding me of the BCU. I just feel like if those movies do really, really well, it's like we're never getting rid of this.
I know.
Like, but if nobody goes to see those, I think it's gonna be time to stop.
But nobody's not gonna go see those. That's the problem. It's the Beatles. People love the Beatles.
Young people don't know who the Beatles are, okay? My sister did not know who Paul McCartney was.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
She's 26.
Maybe there's like, hope.
Like 5 years ago, she was like, who is that? And I was like, the Beatles? And she's like, oh yeah, that old band. Okay. So maybe Gen Z will save us in that way.
I don't know. It does also feel like maybe like a more your sister problem.
That could be entirely true. That's a fault of my parents for not clarifying who the Beatles were to her.
Also, the Scream 7 trailer debuted. You saw this one in front of Bugonia?
Yes. Actually, no. I saw it at home when I was watching something else.
Oh, okay. Got it.
No, Bugonia? I don't remember what trailers I saw during Bugonia. It's been 2 weeks since I saw that, Evan. It took you a while to see it. But no, Scream 7 debuted this week, and I watched it. It's definitely, I mean, I'm a fan of the Scream franchise. I love the original Scream. I'm mixed on the revivals. Big fan of 5, not so much 6. 7, we'll see. The trailer looks pretty good. I'm entertained. You have my attention. But there's been some controversy around 7. What with the loss of one of their stars, 2 of their stars. Jenna Ortega won't be returning, and Melissa Barrera was written out or fired from the script early on. So I'm curious about this one more than anything, but I'm gonna see it because I'm a Scream kind of girl. Have you seen Scream?
No.
I knew you hadn't. I just needed it on record, but it's not scary. It's not a scary movie. I need you to know that.
Yeah, but what if it's too loud? There's too much screaming.
There is a lot of screaming in Scream. The movie Scream has a lot of screaming. If that was a shock or a spoiler. Maybe
spoiler
next Halloween.
Scream.
I'll like sit you down Clockwork Orange style next Halloween to watch
all the screams.
Scream. All screams.
Sounds good.
Or
um,
how about just before we cover Scream 7 next spring, just make me
well,
watch them all.
I might as well start prepping now, so I don't have to like binge all 6 movies the night before we record the podcast.
That would
Um,
be smart for you.
yeah, and
You
we'll
set all those alerts for Kill Bill, A Whole Bloody Affair tickets. You can set alerts in your calendar
yeah.
to watch Scream.
All right. Well, let's start talking about Bugonia here. Gabby, how you mentioned already you saw it a few weeks ago, but how did you watch Bugonia?
On a date night, of course.
Nice.
I went to a Thursday night screening in the AMC 16 Dolby Room. It
Mm-hmm.
was pretty packed. Definitely a lot of laughter, especially for Emma Stone singing along to Chapel Rowan, which best Chapel Rowan needle drop of the year, and we have
Yeah.
gotten a lot of them. A lot.
Yeah, what? It was Freakier Friday.
Oh my god, it was Megan 2.
Megan 2.
Like,
Okay, got it. Yeah. And
I'm
then
so
at least
glad
one
that
more.
Chapel is getting all this money. I went to the concert. I'm a fan, but let's slow down.
Yeah.
Let's not like have too much of a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We can roll
Is
it
my
back a little
take.
bit. I saw it at the AMC 8, which is the one that is a little bit underground where you have zero service.
Did you know that's
oh,
my favorite AMC?
Wait, sorry. That's the 6. The AMC 6 is the one that's underground. I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
mix it up. But yeah, that's your favorite?
I know, I'm sick. I never go there because they don't have an IMAX or anything, but
Why is it your favorite?
I love it. I don't know why. I don't know why I like descending into the ground to go see a movie. I love it. I go to the Barnes and Noble up top afterwards,
Well, that's
browse.
fine. Yeah, I always love going to the Barnes and Nobles. But that's wild, man. That's gonna leave me shook for the rest of the podcast. I hate going to the 6. I'm always like, oh, of course, I gotta go to the 6. I mean, actually, this going to the 6 is better than going to the 8, though.
The 8 is bad. The 8 is just in the middle of a mall.
Yeah, and the theaters are all weird because they're all like both too big and too small, if that makes sense. Very hard to describe. The ones who people who have been to the 6 and 8 are screaming right now. They're like, yes, we're seen. We know.
People who go to the 8 and the screening is actually at the 6.
Oh my god, so many times. It's like, because we've mentioned this before, but if you don't live in the LA area, there are 3 AMCs all next to each other, the 6 to 8 and the 16. They're all within like a few blocks of each other, and people often get them confused. So it's not a rare sighting to go into a theater and see people being turned away because they're actually supposed to be going to the other one, in which case a frustrated employee has to explain why they're different, and yes, they'll still be able to make their showtime, or yes, you can reschedule and find a new showtime for here, just cancel it now. Anyways, I went to see this at the AMC 6. We've mentioned it maybe on air, maybe not, but like I'm not a huge Yorgos guy, so I wasn't really excited to see Bugonia. As I'm checking in, the very unenthused theater employee goes, "Do you want a free poster for the movie?" I was like, "Oh, you're giving away posters?" She's like, "Yep." And I took one, and I was like, "Oh, this is so unexpected." And she was like, "Cool." I was very surprised that I got the Bugonia poster. I was like, I didn't think they'd be giving out posters for this movie.
I don't know. They did give away a lot of merch for Poor Things when it came out.
I guess so,
but
yeah. I saw Poor Things pretty late.
But you saw Bugonia pretty late, and you still got a poster.
I know. They're probably trying to get rid of all this stuff.
Probably.
Anyways, all that to say, I was in there, pretty packed screening for seeing it, quote unquote, late. And I was in one of those specific situations where I had booked a single seat next to 2 people. So I was like, okay, I'm probably with a couple, or at least people who are there together, right? And there was a seat open when I booked it, and then I think there was another 2-seater. They had left 2 spaces in between. So I was like, oh, sorry, I want to sit more center, and I'm by myself. It's fine. So I sat in there, and then classically that last seat got filled up. This dude walked in. So just me and this dude, right, who are in between people who are there together, right? And this guy seemingly having a pretty good time during this movie. We'll get into what happens in the movie later on, but the last hour or so is pretty enthralling. There's a particular moment where one character has a very strong monologue towards another one, and in that moment, that guy walked out, and he never came back. It
Oh,
was unbelievable.
okay. All right.
Yeah, but it seemed
Maybe
like
he was happy with how the movie was, and he was like, I choose to end it here.
sometimes, because we were talking about me falling asleep, sometimes I fall asleep in movies, and then when I wake up, I'm like, maybe I should go see it a second time to make sure I've caught everything. And then if I'm okay, then I'll walk out. I've never gone and walked out of a movie, right? If I've fallen asleep or needed to see a movie for a second time to see something specifically, I've watched the whole thing. So I'm choosing to leave. Maybe he saw the movie or I fell asleep and it was like, I want to make sure I saw the parts I missed.
That's very generous of you, as usual, Evan.
I just try to give him the benefit of the doubt. He seemed to like the movie, you know?
And before we dive into Bugonia, do you care to tell the listeners what happened to you during this screening of Bugonia?
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Yep, that's right. Okay. I believe we confirmed about 5 minutes. He didn't miss anything too important.
Yeah, it was very, very minor. And I remember as it was happening, I was like, no, I bought a soda so I wouldn't fall asleep. And then I fell asleep. But no, I mean, I caught all the big beats, and we'll talk about our feelings about the movie as we get into it.
Okay, let's get into it then. Bugonia premiered at the Venice Film Festival this year on August 28th and was released wide on October 31st. On October 20th in Los Angeles, there was a free preview screening where people could get in if they were bald or willing to be shaved by an on-site barber. And Evan neglected to go to that screening, even though I urged him to.
I don't know. Would I look? I mean, we've got a background on right now. I'm not sure if I would look good bald, to be honest.
I feel like it wouldn't impact you that much because you always wear hats.
I always wear hats on the podcast because I don't want to do my hair, you know? But
okay. Well, I just see you in a hat a lot, so I feel like it wouldn't even impact you.
Yeah,
Me,
true.
I have a lot of hair. And this would take a long time to grow back. My hair grows incredibly slow. It's taken me 3 years to get it to this length. I'm so serious.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It used to be like at my shoulders, and it took me 3 years to grow like 4 inches.
What? Yeah.
We're thriving, though.
Yeah. Hey, incredible stuff.
This film was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, written by Will Tracy, whose previous credits include The Menu and Succession. Original screenplay by South Korean filmmaker Jang Joon-han, as this movie is a remake of his 2003 film Save the Green Planet. There are lots of credited producers on this film, but notably Ari Aster and Lars Knudsen with their production company Square Peg, and Emma Stone and her production company Fruit Tree Enterprises. This movie stars Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, Aidan Delbus, Stavros Halkias, and Alicia Silverstone. Evan, what is the 2-sentence plot summary of this movie? If you had to sum it up. It could also be 1 sentence, but I'm being generous and giving you 2.
Yes. So if you're unaware of what Bugonia is about a man named Teddy and his reluctant cousin, Don or Donnie, as they kidnap Michelle Fuller, played by Emma Stone, who's the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, because the two men believe that she is an alien sent to destroy humanity and their planet overall. So yeah, Jesse Plemons and his cousin, or in the movie, his cousin, they try to kidnap Emma Stone, or rather successfully do, if that's a spoiler.
They successfully kidnap Emma Stone.
Yeah, if you've seen the trailer, you understand that is what happens, and they kind of try to figure out, is she an alien? Because they believe it, but they need confirmation.
Teddy believes. He believes with his full heart that she is an alien. It's his cousin Don who is a little more reluctant. Don is portrayed as perhaps neurodivergent and needs everything to kind of be broken down beat by beat by Teddy as to why they're doing this. You know, how does this prove that she's an alien, etc. Which is very clever for exposition and for the audience, but also just, you would need to be explained this anyway, but this gets so convoluted that some of the things that Teddy is explaining you truly think are so outlandish. How could this possibly be true? And I think that this movie really benefits from that, because it is trying to keep you guessing basically until the very end. at least for the first 2 acts. And I think it pretty successfully does that, in part because of this clever act of exposition, where Teddy's like, why do we need to rub her in calamine lotion?
Or Donnie asked that, right? Yeah.
Don, is like, why do we have to rub her in calamine lotion before we stick her in the basement? Like, I would love to know that too. Why do we have to shave her head? Like all of these things are great questions, Don. So what did you think of Bugonia broadly?
Yeah, I mean, as not a huge Yorgos fan, I actually was surprised at how much I like this. I'm very eager to watch the original film now, Save the Green Planet. I know there were some changes, but I haven't looked into everything beat by beat because I just kind of want to take that film for what it is. I think the performances in this are incredible. I think Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, and Aidan Delbus, who plays Don, that we spend so much time with the three of them, and it honestly feels like this is one of the movies where I can point to where like an actor disappears into that role, right? I think Jesse Plemons is so good consistently, but this role is just so good. The way he's able to like hit the range of this kind of like manic and even potentially like heightened state that he's in, and like both being like the range of like being grounded. What does the grounded version of this look like, and what does the totally like whiplash other end of that look like? And Emma Stone is doing a lot with her character,
a lot,
and just like you were saying, like with Don is asking all these questions, right? It's always done in a way that never feels like I think it's all very convincingly done, and it all feels like it's true like natural curiosity of trying to figure this out. Yeah, so I thought it was really, really good. The more I've thought about this movie, and lots of people ask me about, they're like, oh, I saw that on Letterboxd, you saw Bugonia, what'd you think? And every time people have asked me this over the last couple days, I've been like, you know what, actually I really did like this movie. And
that's interesting to me. Just because I know you're not as much of a Yorgos fan, I mean, I don't know if I'm a Yorgos fan. I feel like I'm more of a fan than you, but I've also just seen a lot of his work.
Sure.
Like, even if it's not necessarily on purpose, I've seen his work. Like, the first time I saw Dogtooth, it was not on purpose. It was against my will. But do think that that's how you're supposed to see Dogtooth, is against your will. I love The Favorite. I think The Favorite is top tier period piece movie for me. I really wanted to love Poor Things more than I did. I loved Emma Stone's performance. I loved the elements of it.
Yeah, I love like the visual world, right? But the rest, it doesn't quite.
All of it together just didn't quite hang for me. It just didn't quite come together. But I love pieces of that movie. And consistently, I love Emma Stone in his movies. And he is really great. I think sometimes people bristle at when actors and directors work so consistently together. It's like, okay, can you can you do something else, work with somebody else? But I think that Yorgos gets a different, and this is a credit to him as a director and her as an actor, is that I think that they get something different out of each role. Like, it's not like she's playing the same role 3 times. Like, he's not typecasting her. He's giving her more to do and a different version to play, different facets of characters in every script, every role. And I really thought that this was a fantastic performance. Yeah, of course, by Plemons, who you mentioned, like, he almost disappears so well into this role that I can't even call it acting. Like, it's alarming. It's alarming how good he is at just slipping into this mindset.
I mean, it's the same way his like 10-minute scene in Civil War made the trailer of Civil War, and he is just that person in that moment. This is 2.5 hours of him doing that,
This is a showcase for Jesse Plemons. As much as I think Yorgos would love it to be a showcase for Emma Stone again, I think Jesse Plemons kind of steals the spotlight from her in a lot of scenes, just with how embedded this character seems to be in his psyche while he's playing this, which, if you see this movie, is really scary, to have that voice in your head. But Emma Stone, I do appreciate that this movie let her go bigger than like comedically bigger and bolder than her other roles kind of have with Yorgos.
Interesting. Okay.
Like I felt like this was maybe it's just because it's a more contemporary performance. Her performances in The Favorite and Poor Things are period pieces. You know, they're not contemporary, and this is by all visual indicators a contemporary film. The first contemporary film that Yorgos has done in a hot minute. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. Yeah, I think that this is a big performance for her in a comedic way, maybe because it is contemporary set and because that character feels so rooted in where we're living right now. She's very girl boss. She's very, CEO coded.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to jump back to what you said about like her, like the two of them working together, right? I've only seen Poor Things. I haven't seen The Favorite, but it's really interesting to track like where she started in her career, right? She was in Superbad, and then Easy A, and then Crazy Stupid Love, right? Just like trying to pull on these hits, La La Land, right? Now she gets to play these like very weird characters, right? Or characters in very weird worlds, and to be an actor who has had a very successful career and now choose to do something very different and feel safe and comfortable doing that with a director like this, I think is a really special relationship, and it's something that should be celebrated in the sense that like they get that they want to do these very interesting things together, and kind of craft
totally
what
agree.
that arc and path looks like, right?
Yeah, I totally agree, and I find Emma Stone very captivating as a performer. In all of her roles. I appreciate when she harkens back to those comedy roots that you mentioned. Easy A should have been her first Oscar nomination. I will die on that hill. We should recognize more comedic performances at the Oscars. CC the Academy.
Cut that into the short and just tag the Academy. And the Instagram the person who runs the Academy Instagram is like, oh, another time again. People tagging us.
But also, this performance reminded me the most of, I don't know if you watched The Curse.
I've just a few episodes, yeah.
This reminded me the most of The Curse, but I thought it was really interesting. I liked The Curse, and I think it's great that she's taken big swings, including this movie, which, as you mentioned, it's an adaptation, and I haven't seen the original, but like you, I really want to see the original now. I know that they gender swapped the CEO character, so the CEO is a man in the original. And I remember when this movie was announced, I like looked into the movie, and when they announced that Emma Stone was going to be the CEO, I was like, oh, interesting. Like, okay. So just because sometimes when gender swapped performances are swapped in that way, it's kind of like, are they changing the whole story around that character, or are they just keeping it the same but giving them a different name? I'm always curious in the adaptation choice, but I think it really worked for this.
I agree. I feel like it does feel a little bit maybe like there were some specifics changed, but overall hopefully remained the same as far as her character goes, but we'll have to see when we get to watch that movie. I feel like to talk about the rest of the movie, some of the themes, and definitely the ending, we'll probably have to head into Spoilerville, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to cover without spoiling this movie. If people are wondering if they should watch it, I think it's worth a watch.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I think it's definitely worth it. And in a weird way, I heard people describe this as his most accessible movie in a really long time. And I don't know if I agree with that. I think that his other movies are accessible. They're just, specifically his more recent movies are more accessible, but maybe not Kinds of Kindness. But Kinds of Kindness is in anthology style storytelling too. So you kind of just have to be prepared for that. But I wonder if that's true, and I would be interested to see from listeners and viewers if they agree that it's his most accessible.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Hard right into Spoilerville.
Population U. Okay, Evan.
Yeah.
Evan.
Okay.
Did you At what point did you know that Emma Stone was an alien?
I know, I forgot to write this in the outline, but as soon as I left the movie, I'm like, this is the question we're going to have to ask. So,
at what point was it clear?
If you are listening and you haven't seen the movie, it is revealed basically in the last 10 minutes to fully confirm that Emma Stone is the alien that Teddy is trying to, that believes she is. And not only an alien, but the queen alien, the queen Andromedon. And Teddy had suspected and believed this after running a very intensely electric shock chair test on her.
That scene is incredibly disturbing.
Crazy. I was freaking out.
I had to look away a little bit. I was like, this is like quite literally watching a human torture scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, Teddy remains steadfast throughout the entire movie, from the kidnapping on, through the interrogation, through the torture, through everything. He knows that she is one of these aliens, an Andromedon, and he believes that shaving her head will help, because he claims to know, again, with a lot of conviction, he says he knows that having a lot of hair is how they Andromedon contact their ships. So, Evan, do you think that I would be able to contact my ship if I?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you've got 5G. So much hair. You've got 4 bars 5G. You know, I'm
6G.
I'm on like 2 to 3G.
2 to 3G.
Yeah. If I'm under like a shady tree, I won't be able to get in touch with them.
Nope, they can contact me anytime.
Yeah. All right, but I want to answer your question.
Yeah.
At what point did I know she was an alien? And I think that there's a specific line reading she had in the dinner scene after the electric chair when Teddy bolts her down, but they have dinner together because he knows that she's the queen now. There's a specific line reading that she has from where I was like, oh, she's just playing into the lie. I can't remember what the line was, but then I was like, but maybe she isn't. And then I think I was fully on board with believing she was an alien, whether or not the movie revealed it to me, when she is talking to Donnie in the basement, trying to convince him to let her go. And there's a moment when she's pushing back on Donnie. She's like, Donnie, you know it's not real. You know it's not real. And then he's like, but if it were real and you had a spaceship, would you take me with you? And she takes a second, and Emma Stone, I'm almost scared to watch this movie on second watch because her character becomes deeply more complex. Every line is being played with like 3 layers of subtext effectively.
It's crazy, yeah.
I think that she has a moment in her face that changes, and she goes, yes, I will take you. And I was like, oh my God, I think I sorry if I hit my mic, but I was like, oh my God, I think she might be an alien. Is
this real?
What about you?
Okay. This is going to be a cop-out answer, and people are going to be like, there's no way. But I want to say I knew almost immediately.
Okay.
I'm serious, but only because going into this movie, I was like thinking about who directed it and who made it. And I was like, okay, this is a movie produced by Ari Aster, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Like, there is going to be some crazy left turn in this movie. And the crazy left turn is either going to be that she is an alien, or that there is some mundanity to her existence, that this guy is clearly crazy and she's going to die for some reason that is, that serves a bigger point. But I want to say that just because I knew that the movie was kind of trying to wrong foot you as you watch it, I was constantly I was flipping back and forth. There were moments where I was like, okay, maybe not. But I started the movie, and as soon as they shave her head, she's being interrogated, I'm like, I was operating from a place of assuming that she was an alien.
Interesting. So you really just you basically, were you kind of reading into the lines then, where you were like, how is she lying and blah blah blah?
Right. I was, wow. And then sometimes for me the lies were becoming really convincing. So there were moments where I was like, wait a second, maybe this is what Yorgos wants me to believe, is that
Mhm.
she's an alien, and she really isn't. Like the scene, that dinner table scene that's behind me, I think was, I'm really interested to go back and watch specifically that scene. For me, that was like the scene of the movie. And they're sitting across from each other across this long table, or at least the camera makes it seem like it's a really long table. They're talking, and Teddy is asking all these questions about her, where she comes from, and why she's here, and like what, you know, kind of like what is the purpose. And she is kind of bullshitting him, but with just enough detail that I'm like, okay, I think this could still be real. But also it seems like she's playing him. It seems like she's playing into his craziness enough that I'm like, okay, maybe she's just trying to manipulate him into letting her go, or into letting him, you know, letting her free of like the chains and stuff to take him with her someplace.
Yeah, she has a very specific like timbre that she hits in her voice that feels like almost like a, okay, say if this were real, right? Like, and she might even use that phrase, and that's the kind of like position that you are operating, that she's coming from. So when it gets revealed later on, you're like, oh my god, like to watch this movie a second time must truly be to be like, to just see those nuances and changes of like of how, you know, what in her kind of, you know, the potential playbook of all right, so you've been caught by a human that you're an Andromedon. What do? You know, like the levels of that, especially when she is allegedly the queen. I feel like the antifreeze thing is what, when I was like, nah, she's not an alien. When she was like, I keep the solution to curing your mom in a bottle of antifreeze, you know?
That moment, I was also like, she's bullshitting him.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But that moment comes after a very pivotal point in the movie. Before I get there, I want to say that the last thing at the dinner scene is when she eviscerates him, and she like basically says, you know, because I'm a winner and you're a loser. That's not the exact dialogue, but she says it in such a way that he jumps on the table and crawls at her across the table and attacks her. And I just want to say that I was personally blown away by that scene, by that shot, by the physicality of Jesse Plemons' performance in that moment. I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was great.
And it kicks the movie into a different kind of energy too, because now there is like an actual animosity between the two of them. And that animosity just continues to grow. But the scene that we're alluding to later on is when, tragically, after Teddy has died,
Donnie has died.
Sorry, Donnie. You mentioned this scene earlier where he's trying to talk to Michelle about maybe taking him with her, like if it's real. And that scene is just so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
When you know what's coming, like it's really heart-wrenching. The actor Aidan Delbus does an amazing job at just really tugging the tear ducts.
Because once you realize, like it happens in the span of like, you know, nanoseconds in your head. Once he
you realize that what he's gonna do,
what he's asking about, you know, and you're realizing the subtext of everything he's been saying, and like what's he actually asking. You're like, oh no, absolute brute. I mean, I think everyone in the theater flinched when you know, reveal Donnie shoots himself in the head with like a rifle, just like through the chin, and the blood goes everywhere, sprays all over Michelle. But
it also enables her to escape from her handcuffs and the shackles that she has around her ankles, because she's able to get the keys from his pocket before Teddy can come back. And so she gets the keys, and instead of this was when I was like, okay, she's alien again, because like you said, that scene with Dawn is so human in a way and so heartbreaking, and it's such a soft moment in a very not soft movie that she gets those keys, and I like heard somebody in my theater be like, "Run, girl!" Like run. Actually, just like, you have the keys, you can leave now.
Yeah.
or you can run upstairs where she suspects that there's a police officer waiting and interrogating Teddy. Like, just go. End of movie. But no, she finds a secret, like, room in the basement where Teddy has all of his Andromedon research. And this room is terrifying.
Yeah.
There are, like, pickled body parts and heads, and just, like, he has dissected other people / aliens before. And Emma Stone, like, she is just looking at everything in this room in that performance with such fascination and disgust. Like, it's really, and in that moment I was like, she alien.
Yeah. And then
I was like, okay, she's not running, she's an alien. Because any human woman would be like, okay, bye, peace out, I'm getting out of here. And
then there's full confirmation later, basically, when they re-meet in the basement, and she says how many of them were Andromedon. And that's when at this point, you should 100% know, but even not, but like, you know, if you don't believe it, it's fine.
It still doesn't confirm it.
Yeah, but for me, I was like, oh, she really knows, and she's asking. And he's like, 2. And because, you know, he's playing it.
But he killed like 9 people.
Yeah, he killed like 9 people. Oh God. And that monologue is when the person sitting next to me walked out, right? When she's destroying Teddy, explaining the Andromedon saga, what they've been doing, what they're trying to do now. They're trying to save humans from themselves by changing their body chemistry, right? And that's what's happening with his mom.
Which, again, could totally be like,
yeah, you're pulling an incredibly detailed story out of your pure imagination, right? Yeah.
But like, hey, we're led to believe that she's incredibly smart and incredibly like good at negotiating and stuff. Like, part of you is thinking like, okay, maybe she is just making all this up. But what I did find really fascinating about that monologue is the reveal of, like, you petty humans, like, you think that we're trying to blend in to seem more like you, but we made you more like us. Like, we are controlling what you look like and what you eat and what you consume. Like, this has been basically happening, she confirms, like, since like the evolution of human beings. You know, she says like the first one of yous were so ugly. Yeah, which is so funny. But she's like, the first few humans were really hideous. Yeah. Like, and I mean, I did think that twist on the traditional kind of like aliens among us was really, really interesting.
Yeah, and it's still like, I mean, I have to like go back and really like listen through the text and everything again, but like it is a little like, I think they want to help the humans, but they also don't know how to help the humans, and they're trying to do it in this way that is very controlling. And yeah.
It's controlling, it's manipulative. They clearly feel some kind of responsibility for the way that humans have become. But also they're kind of like, well, are the humans so far astray and so far gone that we can't guide them in our image anymore?
Yeah. And that basically, I mean, it brings us to the ending, right? Where she manages to, Teddy tries to deliver the cure to his mom, kills her. She wasn't strong enough to survive. If per the movie's logic, he believes he gave her
antifreeze. It's antifreeze.
You don't think it's a cure? You don't think it's a cure? You think it's purely antifreeze? Dang, listeners, sound off.
I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, just because later, after an absolute banger of a closing sequence where Michelle in a horrible wig goes back to her office with Teddy, and like she has like a broken leg at this point. Like, she's like dragging herself to her office, and she claims that via a calculator she's going to type in a really long code and it will call her mothership, and that Teddy just needs to go into her closet and it will teleport him to the ship. Now, this sounds like horseshit to anyone else, but Teddy, I feel like Jesse Plemons does an amazing job in that moment of being like, he's like, is this real?
Yeah.
Am I being played? is she just hitting a panic button right now? Or like that's hidden here somewhere. Like I feel like even he hears it and he's like, oh, okay.
But to counter this, he's put bombs on himself just in case it doesn't go through.
I did gasp.
Yeah.
He's wearing a full vest of explosives.
Yeah.
And Evan, tell us what happens when Teddy goes into the closet, closes the door, and 1 millisecond later, she presses that button, the final button. What happens?
He explodes, and his head flies out and smacks her in the head.
Smacks her in the head. It's crazy.
The paramedics tell her that this is very common with home explosives, that body heat will trigger an explosion like this. But do you think that she caused the explosion? Do you think that she was trying to remember the alternative code?
Oh, no, I actually don't think that she did. My reading of it was, okay, so she wakes up in the ambulance, right? And then she's basically like they have her rigged up to like oxygen stuff, and she's like, I'm good actually. And she jumps out of the moving ambulance and runs back to the office and runs into the closet.
Yeah.
And she huddles in, and it does in fact teleport her to her ship. And I was like, after that, my reading was that it did teleport him maybe to the ship, and that the other Andromedon like blew his ass up.
Oh, interesting.
That was my reading, was that, okay, he did get to go aboard the mothership like he wanted, and they blew him up.
Interesting.
But I think it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, because like she takes so long with the calculator, and part of it is because you don't know at this point that she's an alien, right? You think she's stalling for time,
she's
waiting for the rest of her office to come in and help her. But now when you do know the ending, that she's an alien, and that this basically is evidence enough for the Andromedons to end the human experiment, because spoiler, they kill all the humans, they pop the ozone layer on the allegedly flat Earth, and everyone dies. I was like wondering if she was just like, okay, there's one part of me is like, maybe she caused the explosion because there's an alternative code, blah, blah, blah. But part of me was like, what if she did send him to the Andromedon ship and he was able to just like suicide bomb the whole thing, and then she wouldn't have to worry about this plan anymore. Like maybe she had her own agenda with the humans, right? But we don't really explore that deep, because when she is on the ship, and her council, they decide to end the humans, and we get this 5-minute scene of music playing, and everyone just dead all over the world. I thought it was a very
except
the animals,
for the bees.
Except for the bees,
and the animals, they're living.
Alive. Yeah, just humans.
And I mean, that was Teddy's biggest, like his concern, his red flag was that the bees were dying.
Oh, the colony collapse. That's right. Oh my god.
They keep talking about that, and then she keeps saying, but we're bringing the bees back. And it's just really funny throughout the movie. She's like, my company has worked to bring back the bees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was wondering a little bit, like, if there's so much stuff about, like, the queen and colonies losing a queen, that, like, we are just, like, people just, like, unmoored without, like, a leader or something like that. And then I was like, wait, I don't think that's what the movie's about.
I think this movie is about a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think this movie is about class. It's about the climate. It's about climate, political and geological, this us versus them mentality with the queen bee and the colony. And I don't know if the movie's trying to say that she was the queen bee on Earth too, and that without her, like, it's not like, without her trying to like make things better, it's not worth it. Or if that she's just like, actually, this experience has proved to me that not only are some humans like onto us, but they, aren't worth saving.
Yeah.
And that's what I took from the movie, was that it was trying to say that we're cooked, like we are cooked. And maybe the human experiment has run its course, but I did think that with all of those themes said, this movie is incredibly on the nose about a lot of those things. Like, it's not trying to hide those themes from you, but what I really admired about the execution of it is that it never treats the humans, the audience or the characters in the movie, like idiots. It does not treat us like we are stupid or that we need to have our hands held through these themes. It just kind of like very bluntly puts them in front of you in the form of a 5-minute scene of all the humans of the world collapsed at their jobs, at school. And it, you know, it's kids, it's adults, it's everybody. And I just thought that was so well executed. And I think that's really hard to do.
Yeah, I guess I have like a little bit of a different read on it, in which that like I think they talk so much about colony collapse, and also, you know, Don is talking about like the workers really like doing the, you know, providing a lot of what's going on in the hive and in the colony, and seeing everyone at the end, and also the scene of, well, we kind of skipped over this character, but the character that Stavros plays, this police officer who comes to check on you know, Donnie, Teddy, yeah. This police officer did something pretty terrible to Teddy when he was a kid. I think
awful.
he molested him, right? I think is what it is. And
it's heavily implied that he molested him because this police officer was Teddy's babysitter once upon a time.
And it seems like, and obviously that has done, you know, a number on Teddy, and he also comes from a really bad family life as well. But this officer is trying to apologize to Teddy in a weird kind of way, but it's also trying to be like, hey, I did something like really messed up to you when we were younger, and that was like not okay. Like that was really bad. And I want to make sure you're okay, and I think about you because and then seeing everyone dead, and then just like I was just like, man, I wonder if like part of the takeaway of this is just like needing to just like reach out to people, and like needing to like, you know, I don't know, like being able to like talk to people and just like work, because if we don't like talk to each other like in general, like it's all bad, you know, like that's how we actually get cooked, if the power is just left to the leaders who have their own agendas, you know.
You're such a sweet boy, Evan.
I mean, I know
I think you're too good you're like too good natured for Yorgos Lanthimos movies.
I mean, I know it is very nihilistic, right? So I just pose this to say that it's like an alternative on what is going on, because I do agree that with everything that you said, and as well as just like, yeah, like we can't save ourselves from ourselves because we are contributing to this. We're terrible to each other. We are we leave people on the fringes of society, and it festers. We leave people in mountains of medical debt. Like and if the only course
we're
of
killing
action,
the planet,
if the only course of action is to just be inherently selfish, and then maybe that's it. Maybe it's done, right? But on the flip side of that is maybe this other more positive and hopeful message. I posit, but I do recognize that it is delusional in a certain sense.
I think you should email I'm not saying this is his email, but I think you should just email that to yorgos.lanthimos@gmail.com and see if anything happens.
Maybe I'll open an IMDb Pro and contact his agent.
just yeah. Hey, we just had a different read on Bugonia. Want to know Yorgos' thoughts?
Here's our podcast. Before we move on to our pairing, I just wanted to touch on VistaVision. This is the format that has been getting a lot of buzz within the last 12 months, thanks to the Brutalist, this archaic format that went out of style.
And one battle after another.
Well, I will say, you know, we started with the Brutalist, right? That's where it started. Now the conversations with one battle after another. But after, it seemed like a lot of movies were in production around the time the Brutalist was airing, and a lot of people had already decided to shoot with VistaVision. VistaVision seems like a very fun, not only is it a great term, just flat out, right? VistaVision, incredible phrase,
fun to say,
but it does seem like a little bit of like a buzzword, and with more people shooting on it, this alternative to shooting on other big formats. You know, maybe Christopher Nolan's got all the IMAX 70 millimeters rented, so we gotta use the VistaVision cameras, definitely. But yeah, per the cinematographer Robbie Ryan, he said that approximately 95% of this film is shot in VistaVision, which he estimates is the most amount of VistaVision since One Eye Jacks in 1961. 1961, which was previously the last film shot in VistaVision up until The Brutalist. Even One Battle After Another, only like 80 to 90% allegedly was shot in VistaVision. So this movie does look very unique. Obviously, Yorgos, just even I think having seen Poor Things, really is fan of these lenses that offer a lot of kind of like distortion and bloom at the edges behind the characters. And
huge
those are
fisheye fan. Yorgos
and
huge
fisheye
on the
as
fisheye
well.
lens.
Yeah, I feel like
no
that's
fisheye in this movie though.
really
no
just
fisheye
displayed in
Bugonia.
this scene right here. The first scene when they're trying to capture her. But yeah, so I thought it was cool. I thought the movie did look kind of unique. Like those scenes in the basement have a different quality to them than other movies we've seen in the past. Like I can almost picture how bad that movie would look if it was just made for Netflix, to be honest.
It could have been so flat, like without a like somebody like really envisioning these spaces. Again, these like very normal spaces, like, you know, realistic spaces. I feel like it would have just been flat and not had as much of an artistic layer to read into. Like the visual of this movie gives you a whole other layer to explore within it. But
100%.
But that's really interesting. I did want to mention also on the craft side that we mentioned that this movie was written by Will Tracy, who co-wrote The Menu, a movie that Evan hates and that I think is okay. Do you remember what movie the other co-writer wrote this year, Evan? The other co-writer of The Menu. What else? What did they write?
The other co-writer of The Menu. That's right.
Yes, the other co-writer of The Menu. His name is Seth Reese.
What did Seth Reese write? We covered it on the podcast.
Trick question. We did cover it on the podcast technically, but this episode has been lost to time. Evan didn't like how it sounded, so the public...
It's gonna come out as a bonus episode. It was the Kogonada's film, Big Bold Beautiful Journey.
Big Bold Beautiful Journey.
That's right. Oh my goodness.
A movie that, spoiler, you'll have to listen to the bonus episode.
Yeah.
Is not as well written as Bugonia. So don't know what caused that split in the writers. I don't know if they'll write together again. I don't know if they're like an established team, but very interesting to see the different projects that they have both gone on to do in the same year following their success with The Menu.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Well, this movie posits that aliens are among us, and another movie that does the same thing is They Live. We're going to talk about some of the connections with that film, our kind of like first viewings of this film in a very long time, and more. And we'll be right back. And we're back in black and white here with some special guests behind Gabby if you're watching on the video feed.
These are my friends. This is who I hang out with when I'm not hanging out with Evan. These guys right here.
Did they give you a watch?
Not yet. They said I have to earn it. I don't know what that means.
You got to sell out a little bit. You have to obey,
conform, consume.
Yes, there we go.
Reproduce, buy, eat. Yeah.
All right. So the movie we are pairing Bugonia with is They Live, a classic John Carpenter film. This was released November 4th, 1988. Again, written and directed by John Carpenter. John Carpenter wrote this under the pseudonym Frank Armitage, which is the name of one of the characters in the film. Produced by Larry Franco. This movie stars Roddy Piper, Keith David, Meg Foster, Raymond St. Jacques, George Buckflower, and Peter Jason. Box office bet. So They Live made $13.4 million at the box office against its budget of $3 million. Not too shabby, Mr. Carpenter. But Bugonia so far has made $9 million domestic and $16 million worldwide. So half of its earnings so far is international market, which I think is kind of interesting for a film like Bugonia. I mean, Yorgos, obviously an international director, right? But still.
And Emma Stone, a very big star, maybe a wide appeal there. But yeah, I mean, I do think that Bugonia will make 13 million.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially with, it's only a few weeks into its run, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And, there is a lot of awards buzz behind specifically the performances of Bugonia, I think that will safely take it over 13.4 million, but how much? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll likely
I don't know.
get a re-release too around Oscars time, I imagine. I bet you Begonia goes up for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Ooh, I mean, that's kind of a crowded category this year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Do you think Bugonia has much Oscars buzz as a Best Picture candidate?
Potentially. Poor Things was nominated, right?
Poor Things did like better than expected. I mean, I think the Academy just like is really in on Yorgos. But I wonder if they're really in on like period piece Yorgos and not contemporary Yorgos.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, because Poor Things did really well below the line, like just with all the crafts. And I think the crafts in this movie they're
not as
really
showy,
impressive,
right?
Yeah, but I think they're really impressive in how detailed they are. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I wonder if that's going to be something recognized.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. I mean, something that definitely was not recognized was They Live. Shocking.
Yeah.
But John Carpenter does have an Oscar. Did you know that?
I didn't. What for?
He won for a short film.
Oh.
I think either while he was still at USC or right after, but he has a short film Oscar.
Interesting.
Him and Wes Anderson. Short film kings.
Short film kings. All right, well, let's talk about They Live. They Live follows Roddy Piper's character Nada, who's a drifter who arrives in Los Angeles looking for work and stumbles into a discovery that aliens live among us. Ever heard of it? Sound familiar?
I mean, the way that he discovers it is a little less graphic than how Teddy discovers it, perhaps. Mm-hmm. It's through wearing shades.
I don't. Towards the end of the movie, where they upgrade the shades to contact lenses, spoilers. I was like, "Oh man, God. Come on, wear the shades for the rest of the thing. Let's go."
I mean, kind of. We as glasses wearers should know this, but sometimes when you have like glasses on that are like not your right prescription, they do give you that weird hangover feeling.
Oh, so yeah,
Nada was onto something. He's onto it.
He was like, you can't wear those glasses too much. It gives you a headache.
That scene where he's like, oh.
Yeah, I'm coming down from a high. It's like, that's what happens when you become woke. You know. Like, that's the feeling.
Well, because this movie tells us to stay asleep, Evan.
I mean, this was my first experience watching this movie. It is really interesting, like, you know, how much I think this movie, I mean, so many of John Carpenter's movies have ingrained their way into pop culture in so many different facets and references and things like that. So really great to watch this for the first time. It does feel like pretty late 80s.
The special effects on this are a little rough. I think the aliens still kind of hold up, but in a very practical effect way, which I appreciate.
There's always like with older movies, like, is it trying to do something beyond its means, right? And I think Contact, which is a movie I love, has a lot of sequences towards in the last 30 minutes where it's trying to do things beyond its means, which do not hold up in 2025. But other things, right, like Jurassic Park obviously holds up really well, you know?
Looks amazing to this day.
And so this, I think, is like a little bit in the middle ground. I feel like, I also, by like late 80s, I do feel just like the general like pacing of this movie kind of like...
it drags. It's not a long movie, but it feels long.
I know. Yeah. An hour and a half felt long.
Well, I mean, we're going to get into the fight, but yeah. I just want to say that like this movie, the pacing is also off because it's like very slow to start. Like we get a whole like establishing kind of half hour, I want to say, of Nada and, you know, his friends, specifically Frank.
The youngest I've ever seen Keith David. Youngest I've ever seen him.
Right? Almost didn't recognize him, but having lost their jobs, looking for work, and kind of living in this shanty town, you know, like right outside of what looks like downtown Los Angeles. And we established that for so long
Yes.
that by the time we get to the aliens, you're like, okay, so we still have another hour and a half of this movie. It's gotta be, right? And then he discovers the aliens, and I paused it, and it was like, you have 40 minutes left. And I was like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, we're more than halfway through this movie?
Yeah.
Is this possible? Like, and I'm like, it seems like they have a lot to, because we mentioned this, but I had seen this movie before a long time ago, but in pieces. Like I definitely saw it like when it was playing on cable or something. Like I had never sat through and watched the whole thing start to finish. And so watching it now felt a little bit jarring in that pacing, because I was like, I paused during the fight between Nada and Frank, and I was like, so this is a 10-minute fight, like a fist fight. Like they're just beating the absolute shit out of each other for like 10 whole minutes. And then you press play again and there's 20 minutes left. And I'm like, how are they going to wrap all this shit up?
Yeah.
And what's the answer to that, Evan?
They just run through it. They speed through it.
They speed through it. So yeah, the pacing is off. Which is really hard to do for an hour and a half movie, but Mr. Carpenter, you did manage to do it.
Yeah, if you're listening, we're sorry.
But we're fans.
But we're fans. Yeah. It was, I mean, like, so, you know, they discover these aliens. These aliens are all part of the ruling class, effectively. They have these sunglasses that let them see the real messages behind the marketing things that they're putting out there, as well as the true identities of the aliens. Once Nada and Frank stop fighting, finally, they go and they meet up, go find a hotel room. They get contacted by their old friends from the shantytown who have been kind of staging a rebellion effort. But as things are starting to get going there, they get ambushed by more alien cops and real cops, and the movie just hurtles towards the end where Nada eventually everyone dies. Nada eventually
dies again.
A lot of humans are like, well, why not just be on the winning side? Why not sell out, right? Why not just join up with the people that are going to win, even if it means hurting some other people? And, you know, Nada, much like Teddy, believes in the human spirit, believes that humans have the right and the agency to do what they want to do, no matter whose best interest is it. And he, you know,
I have a lot of questions about Nada's judgment.
Yeah.
But, he makes some weird choices in this movie. Especially, like, I know my guy thinks he's doing the right thing because he's wearing the glasses. He sees the aliens and he's like, nobody else sees them and I'm killing them, like, one by one. Like, he kills 2 cops. And yes, they are aliens, but he kills 2 cops. He takes their guns. He goes into a bank with a bunch of guns and then just starts shooting, starts blasting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, buddy, don't you know what this is gonna do? Like, this is gonna have a manhunt after you. It's not gonna expose anything because you're the only one with the shades.
Yeah, I mean, this is crashing out in its finest form, you know?
It really is. He's not thinking about his actions and their repercussions. He's just crashing.
He's just crashing out.
And he's like, all of society's gonna come with me.
Yeah. Ultimately he succeeds in destroying the thing that cloaks the aliens and their messaging, so the humans can see who they are, at the cost of his life.
And Frank's life. Everybody involved in this effort to unmask the aliens pretty much dies. But I don't know. I thought that this movie shared a lot of like thematic overlap with Bugonia, just in terms of literally aliens hiding in plain sight among humans and trying to wield a certain agenda. What did you think about how it was executed, though, in terms of like the messaging that the aliens are trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, everything just feels like pretty it's a lot more surface level than than Bugonia is. I mean, I know you feel that Bugonia is like very on the nose, but this one is just like it's just in your face. Like this is exactly what it is. This is what it is. There's nothing more. The only places that I think that there's something more in the movie is in the 10-minute fight scene between Nada and Frank, because Nada's
Really?
asking Frank, he's like, you gotta put on the sunglasses, man. You gotta see what I see. He's
and
like,
he won't do it.
like,
He won't just put on the fucking sunglasses.
He's like, I don't want to see. He's like, it's not my problem. I don't want to get involved with this because I have so much stuff going on in my life. And very similar to Bugonia, that I feel is that, hey, I think we just gotta talk to each other. And we see we see this in this fight where they're just slugging each other because they're so determined to not talk and to not share in this thing and to not engage with each other, that they'd rather throw each other on the ground, break car windows, break glass bottles, like perform pro wrestling moves on pavement against each other, than just have a conversation about what is going on. And I think that is the only thing where it is like people, it's the human characters who have turned on the other people, right? It's like, it's so much easier to just get on board with the agenda of the people higher up, that like maybe it's easier to just forget about everyone else. And I think it shows that people are not immune in that way. Like even people who don't have what the people who do have things have. It's like, I still have things I care about. I have a family in Detroit. I don't want to get involved in anything that's going to take me away from doing what I need to do, which is just to support them. And I think it is that thing where it's like coming together as a community, because we see how the shanty town kind of helps each other, and how quickly that is destroyed by
that community this version is completely of the Andromedans, pummeled.
Yeah. But so that's how I feel about the execution. That's how I feel. But that's why I feel that scene is warranted, even though it is just like,
you think that the whole 8 to 10 minute fight scene is warranted.
It really just makes you think. Maybe I just got to talk to my neighbors, you know.
Is that what I thought when I watched that scene? Was like, these men are ripped, and they just really want to show us all how ripped they are. Like, how many times is Roddy Piper like shirtless for no reason in this movie? Like, quite a few, like at least 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he just wants us to know and that he is strong and that he can take Frank and also the aliens. Mm-hmm. But interesting. I mean, it's interesting how you read that. I definitely read both movies as having this kind of, it's not us versus them, it's them versus us mentality. Where like we're kind of, like we're cooked. Mm-hmm. Like maybe it's not, like I read even Frank's character as kind of like, well, is it worth it to know? Yeah. Is it worth it to see?
Yes.
And I don't think that is explicit enough in this movie. Like I think that I would have liked more character development in those 10 minutes than the actual fight from Frank. I think he does say at one point, like, I don't want to see, but I'm like, tell us why. Like, tell us why. Yeah. Like, tell us that you already had a suspicion that something was up in that church across the street from the shantytown. Like, tell us that you maybe caught a glimpse and you just don't want to know and you're happy you're not knowing. Like, I think that there's a whole other level of complacency to explore in that character, and it just kind of is a wasted opportunity. But, you know, c'est la vie.
Yeah, I mean, the movie is much more concerned about just shooting aliens up, you know, and I think that's the big difference between the films, obviously, is that like while They Live is a little bit more like in a sense like campy action horror, you know, action
forward.
Yeah, like Bugonia is more in the, you know, we're really interrogating the psyche of someone who believes in a conspiracy
psychological drama.
Yeah,
but
because Roddy just, I mean, Nada just accepts it. He's just like, I see something that I don't like, and I'm just gonna do it, and which get rid of it, which I do think is problematic when put that way.
Yep. He has absolutely no questioning of it.
Yeah.
He's just like, this is bad.
Also shout out to the character Holly Thompson. Even though she's portrays the humans, that is such a great fake out at her house when she drinks the wine, offers it to him, then smashes on it and shoves him out the window. He rolls down the hill. That's crazy.
He like, and then just kind of gets up, like not a scratch.
Yeah.
He falls from this house. This house has to be like in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah.
And she like pushes him to what should probably be his death, if not like maybe a broken leg or arm. He gets up and he just like kind of like drags his body for a few steps, and then he's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go fight Frank.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna go fight Frank.
I'm gonna go dumpster diving for another pair of sunglasses, and then I'm gonna go fight my best friend. But yeah, weird that the Holly Thompson character does betray the human race, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, she had already been betraying in a certain sense. Like, we don't know what the timeline was, but like, it is very likely that she was already in the know.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they didn't like make out or something. Like, I thought it was gonna happen like Terminator, like the sex scene in Terminator 1. I was like really ready for that. We don't need
to revisit that. There's a reason why we covered Terminator 2.
It was also pretty wild to hear the movie physically say by 2025, like the ruling class will be to total control or whatever it was. It was that was scary. Yeah. I almost paused it to take a picture. I was watching with subtitles, so I was like, "Oh, I just have the line." That's where we
live now.
Yeah.
That's where we live, and 2025 is almost over, so it's not too late. For the proletariat to rise.
Yeah. That's true.
6 more weeks left of this year. What do you think?
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
You're so right. That's your political slogan because you're running in 2028. Is that right? You're running on the Andromedon platform.
The Andromedon Party? That's pretty good.
The Andromedon Party?
Yeah.
Hey, who says no? The 2-party system is broken. We need a third. Andromedon.
For a better tomorrow. Anything could happen.
Ooh. And then we just really small writing, like 0.5 font, right? Consume, conform, buy, obey, watch television. John Carpenter will see it and he'll be like, those kids, those crazy kids, they did it. They saw my movie and they interpreted it literally.
He goes back, he sits at the piano and goes, dun, 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 dun.
He co-wrote the music for this movie, and I mean, you can tell. Yeah. I mean, John Carpenter scores a lot of his own films, and he's very good at it, but you can tell when he does. He wants you to know. My last question for you about this movie, Evan, and about Bugonia, I guess by extension, is if there is an alien living among us, Bugonia / They Live style right now, who do you think it is?
Oh, like worldwide?
Yeah, who is it?
Oh, man. Gwyneth Paltrow?
That's an amazing choice. Like, I feel like it's too obvious for it to be anyone that you would think. Like, it can't be Zuckerberg. Yeah. It can't be Musk. Like, they're just humans that are freaks. Like, I feel like they're almost wannabe aliens. But you're so right. Gwyneth Paltrow, she plays it so cool. And she has Goop.
Yeah. Goop.
She has Goop Kitchen now. Have you had Goop Kitchen?
I had a slice of cold Goop Kitchen pizza the other day, and I thought it was okay. But maybe I'm part of Andromedon now.
I think that's it. I've had a few Goop Kitchen salads in my day, and I think we're indoctrinated.
I'm feeling goopy.
Okay, let's keep an eye on Gwyneth Paltrow.
Who is
when we cover Marty Supreme, but also true. In life.
Who's your alien of choice?
This is gonna sound crazy, but I think it's Nancy Pelosi, because how else is she still alive? I'm serious. She's been through a lot of shit.
That's true. Yeah, that's really true. When's the Nancy Pelosi biopic coming out?
Oh, God. I don't know. I don't want that. Please, if anyone's listening, don't give us that. I don't want to watch
Felicity Jones being like, well, the RBG one I've done, so we've got to do one more.
RBG flopped. Better do Nancy. I want just a full movie about the decision to recreate, like, that one. Remember when they all wore like African?
Oh yeah, and they took the knee.
Yeah, and they took a knee. Yeah. I want a whole movie about the decision to recreate that.
Yeah, it's that moment juxtaposed against when the person broke into her house.
Yes, exactly. And it's written by Aaron Sorkin. And it's absolutely insufferable. Yeah.
Real stakes.
Coming to theaters 2033.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks. Circle back.
Coming to HBO Go Max universe 2033.
All right. Well, before we wrap it up here, any alternative pairings that came to mind? I think this was a pretty easy one. When I was asking Gabby, I was like, "What do you think?" And Gabby pretty clearly said, "They Live. Let's do it." You had another suggestion. Right?
My only other one was Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yes, that's
for
right.
the same reason. Either iteration, the older classic one or the newer one, I thought would have worked, but for similar reasons, where it's like an alien species in like taking over in a body horror type of way. But I thought that this one with the not so subliminal messaging was a little more in the Bugonia vein of what Bugonia is discussing versus what this movie is discussing. So
yeah, we could have done Save the Green Planet. We still haven't really done like a one-to-one like that, I feel like, right?
That's really true. Based
on so we'll keep an eye out for opportunities like that. This one could have been really interesting with because it's so different, like, or it's because it's South Korean. That the difference in just the general, maybe the politics or just the world, and especially made in 2003 versus 2025, and again the changes to the CEO character. True. Also,
and more importantly, what's the same? What's different.
Exactly.
What's the same?
That's a great point.
What has not changed?
Another movie that just came to mind that we could have done. One of the we haven't really done like the movies that we could do as bits. Like the bit movies we've been alternative pairings, but one of the bit movies, a classic one, Under the Silver Lake. That could have been actually a pretty decent pairing for this one. Without spoiling Under the Silver Lake.
Except for the fact that we both fucking hate that movie. And don't want to watch it again. That's really one that, like, it's a bit movie that will never actually come to fruition just because of how much we don't want to watch that movie.
Marriage Story feels way more likely, right? Because it's Marriage Story is a bit movie that we've been saying for a while.
Because I like Marriage Story. Yeah, I famously saw Marriage Story and was like, yeah, I think I'll still get married. I was like, yeah, okay. But
thanks for the cautionary tale, Noah. I'm good.
I'll just be sure not to cheat on my wife with Greta Gerwig.
Shots fired. Hey, that's it for us today. If you're listening to us on audio, leave a review or a comment, and don't forget to check out the video versions of these on YouTube at Back to the Future Pod. You can see the black and white. We discovered a black and white filter. Who knew?
Zoom. It's called Noir. The Noir filter.
You can follow the podcast.
Call it by its name, Evan.
You can follow the podcast on Letterboxd at Back to the Pod and on Instagram and Back to the Future Pod. Thank you all so much for listening. Usually we say a generic, we'll be back next week with another movie, another pairing. But this week, as the the year starts to come to a close, we're kind of catching up on things. We're seeing what's going to be big and things like that. We are going to be covering the Netflix film Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein on Netflix, now that it's publicly available on the streaming platform. Next week, we'll be pairing it with a classic film. I would say a classic, right?
Would you say it's classic?
A modern, maybe a modern classic, a modern monster classic.
Definitely a modern monster classic.
Yeah.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola himself, my megalopolis king, who is now selling his own personal jewelry to help pay for the debt that movie cost.
I'm very excited to watch both these movies. I actually haven't. Bram Stoker's Dracula has shot up to the list because I've really wanted to watch that movie after, I think, I've heard it discussed or something like that. So I'm really excited to watch both these movies, and we're excited to come back next week with another episode.
We'll be back covering another nearly 3-hour movie.
Wait, no, I didn't know.
Yeah, did you not know that? Frankenstein is like 240. Have fun.
Oh man,
I was gonna watch it tonight, but too late.
Well, I'm crashing out about monsters now. We'll catch you next week. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.